water each day to keep the doctor away. Safeway Water.
SafewayWater.com. All right, 5 minutes after 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. It looks rather overcast, but the weather forecast is calling for no mention of rain today and sunny skies and, well, mixed, I guess, with clouds. High temperatures around 83 degrees. Right now, doesn't it look like an autumn day, though? I don't know. You know, one of the big complaints about autumn, I was reading an article, this is kind of silly, is that everybody keeps mentioning that it's autumn. But don't we do that every season? I don't know. 67 degrees, by the way, here at the studios. Galen Unold from LifeSouth Community Blood Center is on the phone, and he's going to remind us that our role in providing blood is the only way that there is blood, is when we take a moment out of our day and donate blood. Good morning, Galen.
Hey, good morning, Larry, Robin. How are you all?
Pretty good. Where are you right now?
Just getting on 75.
And how does it look where you are? Is it foggy?
It's just a little hazy. I wouldn't say it's foggy.
Just hazy, okay.
Yeah, it'll burn off in about 30 minutes.
Do you know, when we were coming back from Chattanooga, we got to Gainesville, and now we're traveling the stretch that you and Alex travel every single day. And I thought, gosh, this is a commute. I wouldn't want to do this every single day. Although in my life, I've had the 22-mile drive to work or whatever it is, you know. I've had that. I've had more than that, actually. But do you get used to it?
Yeah, I mean, it's all interstate. Yeah, it's not stop and go. So it's, you know, from door to door, it's 42 minutes. So it's not bad. I mean, it's not bad at all.
And so you got used to it, though. How many years have you been doing that, actually?
Ooh, off and on forever. So it seems like I've never lived in the city where I've worked. So, yeah. Yeah.
I remember when I lived in Rainbow Lakes Estates, which is farther than Denellen, even though it has a Denellen address. But I think my job was 22 miles away at that time. I think I remember 22 miles for some reason. And you get used to it, but that was Highway 40, which was a 2-lane road for most part back then. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's nice to be 4 miles from your job, let me tell you. But you know what I don't think I could do? I don't think I could do the office in the home thing. Mm-hmm. I think I would never do any work.
Oh, I did it. It's not bad at all. You get used to it.
Really?
Yeah, you really do. You just have to be disciplined. I mean, it's not hard to do.
It seems like I'd be better off to have a place to go to where there's actually a job.
That's me too. Yeah,
I'm a lot more productive because there's a lot less distractions. So I'm a lot. I work from home, you know, like once every 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Because when I have to do like a report or a presentation or something, I'll do it from home because it's a lot less distracting, and I get a lot more done.
Oh, writing. Well, so in a way I do that in the mornings here. Mm-hmm. I mean, I always work at home in the mornings. I write the stuff, whatever we have that needs to be written.
Yeah, you find no service.
Yeah, it's just a lot less.
Although, to be honest, there's no distractions here in the morning. There's nobody here.
Yeah, but you don't use a service to prepare your stuff. You search, and it makes it nice to have that kind of office environment, you know, where nobody's there.
So I have a question for you, Galen, today about fantasy football. Did you see? Are you familiar with the story that's in the news?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure am.
So I want to ask you about not just this story, but in fantasy football in general. I have some questions. Okay. But before we do that, how is the blood supply?
Blood supply, it's okay. Right now we have a 3.5 day blood supply, so we're happy about that. But we can always use more, and considering all the flooding that's going on, and just still in the heart of hurricane season, we just need to get that as long as possible. So just get out there and give the gift of life and donate blood.
Jim Penna, one of our listeners, called up and reported that the Amtrak service was not going to be happening for a while because of the floods in the Carolinas.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bet not.
And I'm wondering if some of the tracks literally will need to be repaired. I'm guessing some of them washed out. You probably can't even travel over those tracks right now.
Yeah, I don't think that's on the high priority list, though.
They're going to have to be inspected.
You know, there are people that don't have water and electricity and a million other things. So there are a lot more important things out there.
Well, I mean, it's regarding transporting things. I mean, most. Sure.
Well, they can route it around it. That's not that big a deal.
You think?
So.
Well, okay. So Amtrak would simply be passenger trains. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, passengers would. Yeah, but I'm guessing the freight trains. Yeah, you're right. Would probably be routed around it. So the supplies and everything. But the blood never gets transported by train, right? It's always by plane.
No, you can't. It's not legal. It's not legal to transport it through. You're not allowed to do any human-related tissues, organs, any kind of waste or anything can go by trains.
Well,
okay.
Found that out.
When LifeSouth transports whatever it is you need to transport using your planes, is your fleet inspected differently than fleets that don't transport that type?
Well, I mean, we're all under the the FAA, so we have to follow their guidelines. Yeah, I mean, we're just a commercial plane.
Well, bottom line is Galen's message is to remind us to donate blood, so go donate blood. And don't forget to thank the sponsors.
Yes.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do this. Penn Flooring is one of the 2 sponsors that we have today. Penn Flooring provides quality customer service. They provide flooring. Simple as that. Remodel your home. Don't forget the floor. You get some nice carpeting down. Do you know all that carpeting at that convention center, after it was done, was tossed in the trash? Can you believe it, Galen?
Yeah, I would love to take some home.
One-use carpeting. I can't even imagine having the luxury of doing that.
Yeah.
Not to mention the manpower.
Exactly.
Did I tell you that we couldn't start the vehicle after we were done with the convention?
No, you didn't say that.
Okay.
The one you just got from the.
Well, I'm borrowing it from Matt because the other one is being fixed. Yeah, I know it's a long story, but anyway, the battery was drained because I kept going back out to the vehicle and putting stuff in it. And I guess every time I did it, the dome light was on. Long story short, the thing wouldn't start. It was raining, right? So I called the I don't have AAA, but it's a AAA type of a service.
Yeah, it was like 1 in the morning.
And it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and the guy says, "Let me see if I can find somebody. I'll call you back." So about 15 minutes later, he calls back and says, "I'm having a hard time. Everybody was sent home, but I'll keep looking." And then he said, "Have you considered asking anybody for a jump? Do you have cables?" And I said, "Yes, I've been thinking about that. Let me go do that. I have cables." So we go back into the convention center, and now at this point, believe it or not, how long had it been done? Maybe an hour.
Yeah.
In 1 hour's time, the whole gigantic hall we had been in was empty, completely empty. All the little temporary walls were down. The carpeting was all rolled up and was going to be thrown in the garbage.
Yep.
So I say to a guy on a forklift, "Excuse me, my car won't start. Can you give me a jump?" And he says, "No." And he keeps driving the forklift. Okay. So then.
Oh, probably a different voltage. Yeah, if it's a forklift, yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, but I didn't know. Maybe somebody had a car or a truck, so I found another guy. I said, "Excuse me, my car won't start. Do you have a way to jump me?" "No." And he kept driving. I said, what are these guys?
I know.
So I said, and they look Chinese. Okay, I said to Robin, "I don't think they speak English."
Yeah.
So let me try something else.
Yeah.
"Excuse me, do you know what time it is?" "No." "Oh, okay."
Okay, there you go.
"You guy's wearing a watch." He doesn't know what time it is.
Then So they couldn't speak
That's
English.
not good at all.
No, I couldn't. And I am not exaggerating.
No.
I was asking everybody. So then I found a security guard, a little woman, in a room with lots of TVs where she was watching the cameras from all over the facility.
Yeah.
And I said, "Excuse me, do you have a way of helping me out? My car won't start. I need a jump." She said, "Well, I can't leave this room."
Yeah, and
I said, "There are no other security guards? I mean, it's just you?" She says, "Right now, yeah, it's just me." The whole facility. One little lady with these TV cameras.
Locked in a room speaking to you.
So finally, the guy calls me back. He was a real nice guy named Jesse. He says, "Were you able to find anybody? Because I can't find anybody to come help you." And I said, "No, I've been asking. Nobody speaks English."
Yeah.
And he says, "What?"
Yeah.
I said, "I'm telling you, everybody I went to couldn't speak English." And so then he said, "All right, well, let me keep looking." And then Robin tried to start the vehicle up, and it started. Don't ask her what the magical touch was. But then
It doesn't matter at that point. It got started.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and then as we're pulling out of the parking lot, the police call and they say, "Are you the guy stuck with a battery?" And I said, "Well, I was." I guess the guy had no choice. He said, "Oh, I might as well call the police. That's the last resort, right?"
Yeah, because they didn't want us stuck in, a convention side of town,
The convention side of town.
Yeah.
Sounds like a song.
I don't know what that means.
I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means.
All right, I have a fun. Oh no, I want to ask you about the fantasy football. So we'll do that on the other side of the break. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, times of clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm around, especially during the afternoon hours along the coast. The high today 81 to 85. And partly cloudy tonight. There may be a shower along the coast overnight, low 66 inland, 72 at the beaches. For tomorrow, partly sunny with a couple of showers and thunderstorms in the area, mainly during the afternoon hours inland. The high tomorrow 80 to 84. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
Hey, Robin, my friend's mother is getting out of the hospital and needs rehab before she goes home. Do you know of a rehab you'd recommend?
Sure. Our friend Jan Marino works at Palm Garden, and she's always talking about the work they do there.
Great idea. I'm going to call Jan right now. What's the number?
854-6262.
I'll call 854-6262, or I might just stop by Palm Garden. It's at the corner of 27th Avenue and 34th Street.
Great. I'll go with you.
All right, 17 minutes after 8 o'clock. By the way, thank you, Palm Garden, for sponsoring the segment we do with Galen and Unold and LifeSouth every morning. Also, thank you, Penn Flooring, for that. Those are the two sponsors. All right, Galen, there was a story this morning, and so just to recap what the story was about. Yesterday, there's two, I don't know, what do you call these things? DraftKings and FanDuel. Are they companies? Are they booking agents?
No.
What are they?
They're so what it basically is, it's online. So you can go on there, and then you're going to play somebody else in fantasy football, and you bet anywhere. And it is, I'm surprised but there's this loophole that it's not a gambling site, which I think is going to change now. So you can bet anything from $1 to, $1 million, and you can play against somebody for 1 week, and you see who wins in a fantasy football.
Okay, so the one guy who worked for DraftKings, that's the company he works for.
Right.
He went to the other one, FanDuel, and he placed a bet, and he won $350,000.
Correct.
So but they're saying they don't have any insider information. That's what they're saying.
Well, they do. They do it. So what happens is all they are is the people who run these sites. They have access to a lot of data that the average person doesn't, and so that's why some people feel it's insider trading. They have access to algorithms that these people use. They have algorithms as to how many plays a certain player has that the common public doesn't have. And what he did is he took one of the algorithms that DraftKings developed, and he used it, and he kind of reversed it to select his own team, and then made that bet on FanDuel and just won. And he didn't just win once. He accumulated this $350,000 over, the first 4 weeks of the season. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Now, they're not charging him with a crime per se, because it's not, what he did isn't illegal, as in true insider trading. But there's going to be more to this story because what people don't understand is that fantasy football is a billion-dollar industry. And I mean, I played fantasy football. I played fantasy football for years. I don't pay for money, but there are a lot of people that do, and it's pretty much unregulated. And now the National Football League is partners with DraftKings, the NHL, all these major sports teams are jumping behind it because these companies are pumping millions of dollars into the sport and advertising. So I think you're going to see some real focus being put on this and whether or not it's gambling.
Oh, but oh gosh, how is it not gambling? So yesterday, both of those companies were forced to release statements defending their business's integrity. I'm reading from the New York Times now. After what amounted to allegations of insider trading that employees were placing bets using information not generally available to the public. So this information is not available to the public.
Not general, and this is what they're going to say. And here's the argument that they're going to use against it. They're going to say, look, all we did is we have an in-house algorithm that our company produced and created. You could, if you had the time, energy, and wherewithal, you could get every piece of information that they received. Okay? So it's not like they broke into somebody's office and took data. All right?
But isn't it... Okay, but... So, let me say...
That's the algorithm that they use.
Okay, everybody who understands this probably gets what you're saying, so forgive me because I'm asking from the kindergarten point of view. I even went to the NFL site. It's called... NFL.com/fantasy101.
That's a good start.
Just to teach myself what the heck this is. Okay, and I mean, absolutely. I hear about it every year. Okay, but here's from the kindergartner's point of view. Here's my question: if everything is unpredictable, if a player is going to do something, you don't know what he's going to do. You don't know how well he's going to do. So how does any information, I mean, aside from a time machine or a crystal ball, how do they know? I mean, how does that algorithm...
Here's what they track. Yeah, and this is where it gets high level. So what they track is they track the number of plays that a player plays, and they trend that over a certain amount of games. And then they'll trend how many times the wide receiver gets thrown the ball against this defense and against this formation that they run. And again, there's a lot of geeks, for lack of a better word, that go in and just study all of this and accumulate all this data, which you could do yourself if you had the talent and you had enough time. You could just watch TV and figure all this out. And then they dump it into an algorithm, and that's how they decide if a certain player is going to score more points than another player. And so after they do that, they rank each player. So they'll rank every wide receiver in the NFL. Okay, from 1 to, there's probably 150 wide receivers in the NFL. 1 through 150, and then you'll select the wide receiver based on that ranking. That's how it works. And so what the critics are saying is they use this algorithm that DraftKings created and made money on it from... And the thing is they made money off of just ham and eggers, like me, if I was to play that.
Ham and eggers.
So
I like
that's
that.
The problem. Okay. Ham and eggers is just a common person.
Okay, yeah, I figured that out. Yeah. I just like the term. Okay, so if I'm understanding what you're saying right, and if I'm understanding what the New York Times article says, and again, everybody who knows this, and they're probably amazed that I don't know this.
Yeah, that's fine. I doubt it. I doubt this audience knows very much about fantasy football.
Okay. But it says in the New York Times article that I can bet. I don't think it uses the word bet. It says pay an entry fee. It says pay.
That's exactly what they call it.
Entry fee, anywhere from as low as
into a lottery type, and they call it a lottery type system.
Okay, but I can.
That's the loophole they're using.
So here's the question, and if you say yes, I might do this. So I can go there, and for 25 cents up to $1,000. This is according to the New York Times article. The low end is 25 cents. Mm-hmm. The highest, it's not a bet, it's an entry fee. The highest entry fee is $1,000.
Just like casting as opposed to...
And if I win, then I win based on odds? Is that like in a gambling game where you have certain?
No. You win based on how many points your team scores. So the way it works is you get 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, a quarterback, a kicker, a defense, and a tight end, and then a flex player.
Huh.
So after you play all those games, everybody's played after last night, whichever team has the most points, and the scoring system's complicated. I don't want to get into that. But whichever team has the most points wins. And so you could have the running back from the Jacksonville Jaguars, the wide receiver from the Dolphins, a quarterback from the Buccaneers, and then you accumulate that. And you're only allowed to have certain players based on their value. So there's a salary cap, and it gets complicated. But bottom line is if your team outscores the other team, you win.
Okay, so I just went to DraftKings.com, and I just even took a guess at that being the website, but it is. And it says, free entry to a fantasy football contest, win real cash, plus deposit now and we'll double your cash. This is gambling. More than $1 billion guaranteed in 2015.
There's no doubt about it that it's gambling, and it's sanctioned gambling both by the federal government and by these sports entities, which are anti-gambling. So the NFL just came out with a statement that went really under the radar, and I think it came out last month, I can't remember when it came out, that the NFL players, they are allowed to put in up to $250 into these DraftKings and FanDuel information. Now you're going down a slippery slope, in my opinion. I think the IRS is going to start looking at these sites because they're claiming billions of dollars in winnings, and payouts and all this, which means they're generating a lot more than that. I think you're going to see a lot of scrutiny under these sites. Okay,
so now take me back to the NFL.
Now, and let me make one comparison. Online poker. Remember, online poker was all the rave for a long time.
Right.
And then because the government decided it wasn't gambling, and then the government turned back on itself and said, no, this is gambling. Because what they called it before is online gaming, that it was a game and that you paid an entry fee.
Okay.
Right? And so it's very similar to DraftKings and FanDuel.
Okay, but help me understand this. And let me just ask a couple questions in one so you know what I want to ask. The first question, but don't answer right away until you get I think I only have 2 questions. So the first one is, it sounds like you say the NFL does not really approve of the gambling type sites. Okay, and tell me if they do or they don't. Right. But let me ask the second question. So on their site, on the NFL site, it says the rules of fantasy football will vary from site to site. Here at NFL.com, our game comes with a standard set of rules. So it sounds like they're not endorsing the other sites, but they've got their own. Do they pay out money, or is theirs just for fun?
Theirs is just for fun.
Okay.
Right. So there's several sites that are just for fun, and then there are several sites where it's a pool. And at the end of the season, whoever wins the pool gets the money. What's different about DraftKings and FanDuel is it's week to week, and there's a payout, and there's this entry fee that they call it. And again, I think it's going to start coming under some real scrutiny. So they've kind of slipped under the radar, even though I think they spent something like $650 million on advertising last year between the two companies. So
well, that means they're making money.
Really blasting it. Oh, they are pumping it everywhere. And I have friends that actually do both DraftKings and FanDuel. And what they do is they start you off, and this is the slippery slope. They start you off, and I have a buddy who now spends, he'll wager $250 a week.
Oh my goodness.
So, but he started off being really small because he'll win. And he breaks even or loses a few bucks or wins a few bucks. I mean, he's not getting rich, but
wow.
He's up to $250 a week now.
Just like the Florida lottery, it's gambling too.
Well,
that's it. That's exactly right. And that's what they compare it to, right? And so this is illegal in some states where there is no lottery or where the lottery has been deemed illegal. I think like Washington State doesn't have it, et cetera.
All right. We've run out of time. Thank you for explaining that somewhat. I mean, it still sounds fun. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
It sounds fun. It sounds fun. I mean,
you have to like football to like it.
I like the slippery slope part of it, though, because that's the warning, because all gambling is a slippery slope. All right, where's the Bloodmobile today?
Bloodmobile today, Larry, is actually, where are they? I'm sorry. They're at the Winn-Dixie on 441-301 North.
All right.
Oh, okay.
They're next to 326.
Okay. Thank you, Galen. Have a great day.
All right, you guys are the best.
Thank you. Bye.
Out after days of torrential downpours, but there's still flooding. These residents watching a road collapse under rushing waters near Columbia, South Carolina.
Forecasters say Columbia typically gets 45 inches of rain a year, but in just days, the area's been hit with more than 2 feet and counting.
Fox Radio's Monica Ricks. 12 have died from the storms in the Carolinas. Some of the 100-plus passengers still shaken up after their Amtrak train heading to Washington, D.C. derailed in Vermont yesterday, with some cars tumbling down an embankment.
I can't say anything except that it could have been a lot worse, and the engineer did a great job. 7
were injured, 1 seriously. Volkswagen's new chief warning staff today that company changes won't be painless, a response to Volkswagen's cheating on diesel emissions tests. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Fox News on your time. The Fox News iPad app is ready to go with all the great features from FoxNews.com and our iPhone app optimized specifically for your iPad. Watch the latest clips from your favorite Fox News shows. Personalize the app by creating your own newscast using the video playlist. Listen to Fox News Radio live. Get local weather forecasts. And it's all free. Go to foxnews2go.mobi. That's foxnews2go.mobi.
Some people would call him a loser. He ran for state office. He was beaten. He started a business. He failed. He ran for Congress. He lost. He was nominated for vice president. He lost again. But he knew only those who never try are the real losers. And Abraham Lincoln was no loser. Persistence. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Howdy, RL here for Dairy Queen. Spring is in the air, and so is the smell of meat cooking on our charbroiled grill. You want to treat yourself to one of our most excellent grilled chicken sandwiches or wraps, or maybe a foot-long all-beef chili dog, and wash it down with an Orange Julius fruit smoothie with many real fruit flavors. So come on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Listen up, Ocala, because I'm going to tell you about the best buy in gorgeous top-quality azaleas in recent years. Due to a special truckload purchase, Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens can offer you these wonderful semi-dwarf azaleas in the #1 size, just $1.99 each. You heard right, semi-dwarf white, pink and white, dark pink azaleas. They'll sell all over for $5 and $6.99. Yours for just $1.99 each while supplies last at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens. Larger sizes available at similar low prices. Also, check out Bob's BOGOs this week. Knockout roses, buy one, get one. Plus, each and every tree in stock, buy one, get one at half price. Check it out this week. Unbelievable deals on azaleas and a whole lots more at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala. Daily till 4, Saturdays till 2. Greener with Ocala since 1952.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
A 10 to 20-minute nap pays off the most. Any longer, and your body falls into deep stages of sleep, making you groggy when you wake up. Take Sam's Club, for example. They're so confident that drones will be the hot holiday gift that they're stocking a dozen different kinds, from basic models to ones that come equipped with high-res cameras or the ability to pick up small objects. Things we watch on TV can absolutely directly impact our mood.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Pics, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Pics will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Pics at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6.